Welcome to the OutThere Colorado Podcast. Once again, I'm Spencer, here with Seth.
Hello, present.
And we got Tim on the sound and the visuals for today. And
He's back.
Yeah, he's back. Tim took a trip, now he's back.
Thus, we're back.
Yeah, we are back. We are pretty
hopeless without
hopeless
Tim.
without Tim around. So, but yeah, it's been a week and a half, 2 weeks, probably 2 weeks since we've had a show. So, a lot of stuff to cover.
I'm sure everybody missed us dearly.
Yeah, I went to Steamboat Springs.
Yeah,
that was fun.
I didn't do anything that cool.
Yeah, much cooler than Dallas. No offense, Dallas,
Yeah.
but Steamboat Springs undoubtedly a better vacation destination. Both for weddings.
Mhm.
Both weddings were absolutely beautiful. Steamboat Springs, though, I mean, hit it right during fall colors, going over Rabbit Ears Pass.
Of course, they always start there first, right?
Yeah, it was great. Shout out to Snow Bowl. That was a fun time. Some bowling, kind of like your fancy bowling alley, we'll say, or like a nicer bowling alley. Yeah, and Steamboat. That was fun.
Huh.
Hung out at Sun Pies, which is a classic,
I've heard of that.
Classic bar there at Steamboat. And then, yeah, the wedding was out at Catamount Lake, which is this nice little resort. I guess you can like rent it. But yeah, it was
Cool.
beautiful. So, good weekends all around. Dog got hurt. She got stabbed by a stick running outside.
Oh.
Got too close to a stick, and so she's
sorry. You all right?
she's in a cone, but all right. She looks
Yeah, because she can't like lick the wound. Or
yeah.
whatever.
So
Oh man.
she looks undoubtedly very cute in the cone, which gives you mixed feelings. I feel very sad for her,
Yeah.
but the cone flips. It's one of those soft ones. It flips upside down,
Okay.
so it looks like she's wearing like a little like lion's mane or like a dress looking thing. So.
Poor thing.
And she's a 22-pound dog, so for
How old is
people
she now?
listening. She will be 7 here in 4 days. So she's climbed 14 or 15 14ers with me. So a little
Been around.
pocket of energy or whatever you want to call it, a little bundle of energy. And pretty
Hope she makes a quick recovery.
yeah, me too. We'll give them the update next week. But yeah, how were your last 2
Nothing
weeks? Seth?
nearly as exciting as that. I'm trying to remember what I did. Watched my Bears go up and down, I guess.
I did see they won a game.
Got to win.
Yeah, so I thought of you when I saw
Something
that.
tells me the Cowboys are just really bad, though. More than the Bears
Oh.
being good.
Yeah, there's their leadership thinks they're Super Bowl contender, and that's probably about it.
Did some cool hikes locally for sure. Always discovering new stuff to do in Red Rock Canyon, new loops. I'm always amazed at that. Like, been here almost 10 years, and I'm always finding new loops to have fun around there. And I've been hunting some hidden gems for food around town. Here in Colorado Springs.
There we go. What do you got for us?
I know I mentioned Chuck Wagon not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And most recently, it's been Thai Taste on Academy Boulevard.
All right.
You gotta want to go to it. What is that? Union and Academy for our Springs listeners. And then another good one would be Lu Chow's, which is like the southern soul food spot that I once knew in the food hall here downtown Kauai, and it's now hanging out in Fountain.
Oh, very cool.
So, also like in a strip mall, these hidden gems, you got to like look around these strip malls. I'm learning,
Yeah, Thai
and
Taste.
just take a shot.
Thai Taste 4.7 stars.
That's my
Lu
standard.
Chow's 4.5. So
Yep.
it's still 2 highly rated spots from Seth Foster.
Yeah, that Thai Taste was super good.
Food
Super
man in
tasty.
Colorado Springs.
They should put like a Y on the end of the name, Thai Tasty. That's what I was thinking about.
Gotta leave that in the comments box.
So anyway,
yeah,
there's
that's
my
fun.
update.
That's fun. Yeah, Red Rock Canyon open spaced out there, western side of Colorado Springs. It does always amaze me just how many trails they've packed into that space. And very cool spot.
Yeah.
Very cool spot.
Yep.
Underrated probably by people that are visiting the city, but
One might call it the locals' Garden of the Gods.
yeah.
Similar
I like that.
formations, right? Without the pavement exploring them.
A lot more of an expansive trail system too.
Big time.
Former stone quarry, right?
Right,
And
right.
then also a former garbage dump.
Yeah.
At that
Hard to imagine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is wild that they've just reclaimed that and turned it into something
Yeah.
beautiful and
Yeah,
worth checking
For
out.
sure. Really just in this century.
Yeah.
Early 2000s, I think that open space was acquired. Yeah.
Yeah, every once in a while when you're way out on the trails, you'll find some like old trash from like the
Yeah.
70s. Like it'll be like a Gatorade
Yeah.
wrapper from a long time ago, and you're like, oh, that's what their branding used to look like.
Isn't that bizarre?
Maybe not Gatorade. I don't want to throw Gatorade under the bus, but whatever
We're
it is.
not trying to
you know.
haterade here.
Yeah, no haterade in this building. But yeah, so let's get into some of these topics.
Lots of colorful topics.
So first thing I want to dive into, just because I saw it and I'm guessing our readers have seen it as well. Maybe you've seen it, but this post has been going viral in recent days, showing a mountain lion in a convenience store or in a pet store in Colorado Springs.
In a pet store?
And it's
I
like,
didn't see that.
it's security footage. So security footage, the images that are going viral online date to 2022. And basically the story goes, after the store closed for the night, this mountain lion went into this pet store, wandered around, ended up in the cat toy aisle and ripped open toys, got catnip, and then fell asleep because of this catnip. So, and all the photos of it show just a mountain lion passed out in the store aisle.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine, like, you're an employee and you come to open the shop in the morning and just a mountain lion asleep?
And that's how
exactly
the story goes, right?
Jeez.
And story in quotation marks there, because whenever I saw this headline and saw several of my friends who shall remain nameless, liking it, resharing it, I was like, no way is this real. I would have heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, was it Snoops or Snopes? Snoops.com, the like fact-checking site for stories of this nature, dug into it.
Because stories of this nature need a fact checker.
Yeah, and they have determined that it was false as a rating. So essentially their evidence for that was that there's no news coverage of this event, first off, right? So there's no actual story from a local news source in Colorado Springs that this event took place. And then they used AI detection on some of the images. Didn't bring up any sort of like red flag there, but then digging into the images more, they found that the aisle that was used is actually the same convenience store snacks aisle that was seen in footage of a 2018 robbery that took place in Canada.
What?
And you watch the video and it's like the snacks are literally in the same spot and everything is identical between this aisle where this robbery took place and this image that's circulating online. And I mean, millions of views on this. Like there's over 200,000 reactions on one Facebook page alone. So a lot of people have seen the story and think mountain lions are breaking into pet stores in Colorado Springs.
And fake
Not
news.
the case. Not the case.
A hoax.
It is a hoax.
Classic hoax.
Yep. At least that's what it seems like. So unless these two grocery store aisles are the exact same in two different countries.
Yeah, maybe there's some standard for grocery stacking. I don't know.
Could be. It's funny because all the snacks are in like the same number of snacks in each like
What are we talking
image.
about?
You can't really
recognize
see
them?
it. Yeah, but it is like literally like identical, which is I was like, okay, they're making presumably making this fake mountain lion in a grocery store photo. I'm like, what made them pick this 2018 robbery footage to be like, let's use that. Let's use
Google
that
something and that'll do. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's bizarre.
either way, bizarre little story there.
The internet is the Wild West.
It is.
It's the new Wild West.
Well, and speaking of the Wild West, I don't know if this is the best segue, but let's talk about some mountains of western of us right now. There we go. There's a segue. Let's talk about Bras. Recent land acquisition, pretty big news. Mount Bras out there by Alma, out there by Fairplay, Hoosier Pass area, part of the DeCalibron Loop.
Right.
On years when the DeCalibron Loop is fully open, attracts about 25 to 30,000 hikers sometimes. So one of the most popular high elevation routes in the state. It's about 7.5 miles long. A lot of first time 14-year climbers pick that route because of its length and because you get to hit the 4 summits, including Bras, Lincoln, Cameron, and Democrat along the route. So yeah, give us an update there because it's a pretty big development.
And little do people know when they tag those summits that not all of them are accessed on all public land. Bras being one of them.
Yeah,
right?
you can't go up to the Bras summit.
Bras summit is the way there, and the summit itself it crosses private land. So people might remember, this is kind of an extension of news that people might remember in 2023 when the Conservation Fund announced acquiring land, including the summit of Mount Democrat, right? And I think maybe a lot of reactions at that time might have been, hey, DeCalibran is now good to go. All these issues of closures that we've dealt with in recent years won't happen anymore. Public access, not exactly. So this loop falls on one example of mosaics across our mountains that in some cases are just dotted with all these obscure mining claims. And DeCalibran being one of them, right? Like, talked to Colorado 14ers Initiative Executive Director Lloyd Athiern, and the way he put it is just like a staggering number of just mining claims stacked around to the point where it's like hard to identify who the owner is and how to contact these folks.
A lot of historical mining claims too.
Yeah. Even probably examples of just people, being like, how do I own a piece of a mountain? Oh, a mining claim. That's what I'll do. There's probably examples of that, like all around the state.
Well, and it brings up this big idea too of like landowner liability, and
yes,
that
hence
is,
the closures.
Yes,
hence the closures that we've seen over the years. Right, landowners, particularly on DeCalibran, have expressed worries of liability and bizarro issues where they could be sued. Right. So we still at the Kite Lake Trailhead there's a QR code from a landowner requiring an online waiver to be signed. Right. We see that at Mount Lindsay as well, an online waiver.
Also Culebra Peak as well, which is all on private land, but still you got to sign a waiver.
Yep. So the new acquisition here, what'd they say, about 480 acres around Mount Bras, does not include the summit. If you look at a map, they kind of highlight a section of the loop itself that they've kind of cleared for this public access. But my sense is we're going to keep kind of hearing about, they refer to this multi-year endeavor to kind of really clean up, if you will, the situation up there and get it into the public trust, into the Forest Service, right? To avoid any future scenarios like closures going forward.
And it was what, 480 acres or so?
480, yeah.
In this last acquisition?
Yep, around Bras there.
Most of that on that southern side of the mountain from that map I was looking at.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Not even kind of like if you're on the trail itself, you're like looking out at that land. The vast majority of what they've acquired, as part of this. So,
and they do have the stretch between Lincoln / Cameron and toward the Bras summit now too. There was like that little section of trail that was acquired as well. But
right. Yeah, it sounds like, if you look at a map again, like west to east. Do I got that right? Yeah. Democrat West, that was the big focus. And then kind of go Cameron, and now they're really looking into Lincoln and Bras, like that section. Like, how can we kind of clear stuff up around there?
Yeah, interesting stuff.
Yeah. Again, like I said, I think we'll probably hear more. If this interest indeed continues, I think we'll probably keep hearing headlines like this, like more 14-year land acquired. Yeah.
Love to see it. Makes that access more permanent, so to speak. There are some other complications with the DeCalibran Loop coming up. I think they were originally going to do some construction on that road in September. Yeah. I think now they moved it to October.
Okay.
But either way, that road's going to be closed for a little bit. I think it was like, oh man, I'll be wrong, but I think it was like 2 weeks. So fact check me. But if you're planning on climbing it, double check that road is open. Also, just to clarify, because I mentioned Culebra, you can't just go hike that, even though it's on private land. You have to work with I believe it's Celio Vista Ranch, sign up, pay a fee, sign the waiver, and then show up at a very specific time.
Right.
Like they let you in at 6:00, I think, or whatever the time is.
Gotta have your ducks in a row, yeah.
And the door just closes behind you once you're let in. Like if you show up at whatever, like I said, I think 6. Show up a little after that, you're not climbing the mountain that day. But yeah, interesting stuff. So we'll see how that impacts DeCalibran Loop moving forward.
Yep.
Let's talk about some ice castles. They're coming back.
Right? The man-made attraction.
Yeah. Coming back to Summit County, but in a different spot too.
Right. In Silverthorne, where it was before you and me were here. We've been here 10 years, and it had been in Silverthorne prior to that, is my understanding.
I think it was the first spot where they had a commercial destination. Ice Castle was.
That's how Ice Castles referred to it. Yeah, they kind of refer to it as like a full circles moment. So for people who don't know, Ice Castle started out of this father's backyard in Utah, trying to just create this icy attraction for his kids, and that became this commercial operation where we have locations elsewhere in the country. And one of the early ones, was Silverthorne, where it's coming back. Around the outlets of Silverthorne.
Yeah, and last year,
the outlet mall, yeah.
And last year it was in, was it Eagle?
Eagle, yeah.
And then Cripple Creek. It's coming back to Cripple Creek too.
Third year in Cripple Creek.
Yeah, third year in Cripple Creek. It wasn't Dillon there for a while, so people listening that have moved to Colorado or been tuned into the ice castles.
Remember it there, yeah.
Moved out those at water use.
They started construction. They did some renovation or construction at the ballpark there, where it was previously. But yeah, there was definitely some concerns bubbling around town.
Yeah,
you're definitely hearing locals talk about the parking situation, and then asking questions about the water use and the power.
Yeah,
so
cool stuff. Ice castles are back.
Yeah,
it's
colorful ice castles.
So
usually they, there's always like this big push to open it by Christmas, of course. Like it just begs for a Christmas experience, right? And that's always the goal. Haven't they've been able to do it, I think, the past couple of years in Cripple Creek, right? Before Christmas?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think so.
And also, I think in the when it was in Summit County, Eagle County, I think
they're
generally they're able to hit that.
Okay. That's the goal anyway. They say late December, and usually it continues through February, like into March sometimes.
Yeah, for those not familiar with the ice castles, it's basically this like fortress created of ice.
Right.
They got slides and fountains and these like neon lights that illuminate things. It really is like the perfect winter photo op in a lot of ways for people just wanting to show up and get some really cool photos.
I think there's increasingly a number of dudes who are realizing this is the place to propose,
Yeah, there you go.
I feel like I keep seeing like proposal pictures.
It is a magical destination. It's like you walked into like the Disney movie Frozen.
Right, yeah.
And good for all ages.
Sometimes the Frozen music is playing, if I'm recalling right. Yeah,
it might be.
They lean into it.
Yeah, good for date night, good for families.
Yeah.
Interesting little thing that you can't find everywhere.
Right. Cripple Creek is such a funky place for it, I feel like, too.
Yeah. I think the number said over 100. Was it over 100,000 people?
That's what they say out of Cripple Creek, that they're getting. I don't know if that's just a generic number that the company uses for locations like that have a long season like that.
I have no clue.
Cripple Creek, at least from people I talk to in Cripple Creek who, are concerned about, a year-round economy there. I mean, they've really raved about it in terms of just what it's meant for winter in Cripple Creek, which is pretty remote, Like you got to want to go to Cripple Creek.
Seeing here more than 100,000 people were expected and kind of on par with the first year. Apparently they were expecting to break the record. So and right by Colorado Springs.
Right.
But Cripple Creek is, out of the way, inherently out of the way. It's a high elevation mountain town. Yeah. It's at like what, 10,000 feet almost.
Yeah, something like that.
So, and it's casinos is like the main draw. So
the old,
especially in the winter,
the old historic mining town. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a reason why Ice Castles has really pushed to get back to Summit County, right off I-70. All that ski traffic, Like I remember just thinking like a few years ago when they announced Cripple Creek, like very interesting in terms of like what I just said. Like you gotta want to go to Cripple Creek. It's not like not like off a major highway.
Yeah, the closest
close
you get
to Colorado Springs for sure, like you said. But
and the closest you get really is like where 24 switches from 4 lanes to 2 lanes, and so like not a major.
Right.
It is a major route for those in the Pikes Peak region, but not like obviously it's not I-70.
Yeah.
But, interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Well, hey, let's. There is one story that I wanted to touch on. This one's a sad one, but by this point, I mean, most people in the hunting communities around the country will have heard of this story. 2 hunters that went missing on September 11th in Conejos County, Colorado. Basically, these hunters had a GPS unit with them that they were using to check in. I believe they're from North Carolina, if I remember correctly. Andrew Porter and Ian Stasco, both 25 years old, out on a hunting trip. And then family members stopped hearing from them. So this prompted a very large-scale search effort. A lot of teams involved from both Colorado and I believe New Mexico as well. Apparently some military resources. Heard some like the Black Hawk helicopters were around. Basically, there weren't really many details related to where they were at first. Bad weather was present in the area there for a bit in those initial days after they had gone missing, and as it would turn out, on September 18th. Their bodies were tragically found. A few days later, the county coroner noted that they had been killed by a lightning strike. So both hunters said to be very well prepared. Kind of caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. Andrew Porter's fiance, her name's Bridget. She was kind of keeping the public updated through these online Facebook posts. And as she wrote, it was out of everyone's hands. I'm so grateful we found him so they can be at peace. He, referring to Andrew, was an experienced outdoorsman who was in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
Yeah.
So very tragic situation. The area that they were in, all in elevation, and this is according to 9 News, all at an elevation of at least 10,000 feet. Apparently, a spot where they had been camping was at 11,400 feet. So pretty high up there. Mountain storms, obviously very powerful, obviously a very scary situation when you get caught out in lightning. Pretty wild and tragic, and just very heartbreaking situation unfolding there.
See the Gazette pulling from National Weather Service data about 500,000 lightning strikes hit the ground in Colorado each year, on average, killing 2 people and 12 injuries, again, on average every year.
Yeah, and that's since 1980 too.
Okay.
I have got the same things in my notes here. But yeah, if you go back, data from 1959 to 2019 puts Colorado as the 4th deadliest state in terms of lightning strikes. So yeah, and if you shorten that range to a little bit more recent, it's about 7th deadliest state, I think. I forget what that date range was, but yeah, I mean, a very, very scary situation. And anyone who's been up in alpine terrain, you know how quick those storms move in, and how difficult it can be, especially in a situation where, like, a lot of hunters are hunting off trail, so more rugged, maybe slower moving terrain.
Sure, yeah.
Very difficult to get out of there in time. As far as safety goes, just for the sake that it's, for safety's sake, to mention what you should do in a lightning storm, especially if you're above tree line. A lot of people might think that they are supposed to seek shelter under a rock. That is not the case. Essentially, you want your group to spread out. I believe, if I remember correctly, some of the official advice is with about 150 yards between each person. Then you want to kind of crouch as low as you can on the ground. Try to be on the balls of your feet to limit how much of your body is contacting the ground. And then just you got to wait it out. And especially if you can't get under tree line. And I haven't seen if these hunters were above or below tree line. That's important to note too, at least where they were found at. But yeah, scary situation. We had a similar scary situation unfolded on was it Torrey's Peak earlier this year?
Oh,
prompting someone was hit by lightning up there. I believe it was Torrey's Peak, but ultimately resulted in the highest helivac to ever take place in state history, if I remember correctly. And I believe that person survived. But yeah, something to be aware of.
Yeah. I remember coming down from really just a short hike in Rocky Mountain National Park years ago, and sure enough, storm rolled in fast, and my wife and I just kind of start making a beeline back for the trailhead. Wasn't too far away, but there was definitely lightning, and came by like a small group that was like huddled under a tree.
Yeah,
and it was one of the where it's
don't want to be huddled under a tree.
Let's move.
Yep,
keep moving. Just book it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But yeah, I mean, there's just a level of just place.
Oh. Yeah, you don't hear about it much.
Yeah.
And probably because it doesn't happen that often. I mean, if we're looking at those averages, that's 14 people hit by lightning a year in Colorado. But honestly, I think the number 14 too is even higher than some might expect. Just because it's like people think these lightning strikes are so rare, but they definitely happen. Yeah.
Get inside if you can, obviously.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there's some storm shelters on some of those higher peaks, like Long's Peak.
Yeah.
I don't know if that necessarily protects you from a lightning strike, but either way.
Yeah, sad story.
Very sad story. But yeah, let's move on to one of your stories here, the Crystal Lake Revival.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting one.
I know nothing about this.
Yeah, I didn't know about it either. But for generations, people, especially in Southwest Colorado, have known about it. I even came by this, or the Historical Society in Uray has pulled up a photo from William Henry Jackson, like the famous photographer who took a picture of this lake, which at the time in 1901, I think was the photo, was smaller, more like a it was a natural lake. But over the years since then was expanded by an earthen dam. So a fairly sizable lake, especially if you look at the photos. Like, looks like a pretty classic Colorado lake. Gorgeous lake there off the $1 Million Highway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there has recently been proposed legislation for this property to be transferred from the Forest Service to the city of Ouray. And the interest there stems from the Forest Service in recent years noting what they described as a crack on this dam and deciding or referring to it as a high hazard dam, presenting to commissioners in Ouray County their concerns about what that could mean to communities downstream if the dam was to break. So what was the Forest Service response? Last year, they went ahead and drained the lake.
Oh, dang.
Which spurred emotions around Ouray, around Southwest Colorado, emotions of anger, sadness, confusion later about how this all went down. Lots of ins and outs in that. I reported some on that, again, on Gazette.com, but all to say there's now this effort to see this land transferred to the city of Ouray, and Ouray has pledged to refill it, address the dam situation, and return it to this cherished site that it's been, again, for over 100 years there off the $1 Million Highway. It does look gorgeous. Again, I'd never been there, but it looks like it was a great fall destination, surrounded by beautiful aspen groves. So yeah, there's another story I'll be interested to follow along.
Yeah, it's kind of up there.
Bring it back to life.
Up kind of as you're approaching Ophir.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the Ophir Historic Road.
Pretty
Kind of between,
though.
$1 Million Highway and that, yeah. Seeing on All Trails here, just had it pulled up. On All Trails, it looks like it's a 8-mile hike, round trip. So, elevation gain of 2,500 feet, 4.7 stars. So, yeah, as long as I'm looking at the right Crystal Lake. I have to imagine there are many Crystal Lakes in Colorado.
It also gets referred to as Crystal Reservoir. It is technically a reservoir with the dam, but again, it was a natural lake at some point and then enlarged. That's why the name mix-up comes from.
There you go. Oh, yeah, forget everything I just said. I was talking about.
I had a feeling.
Yeah,
I don't like to call you out, but
okay. So here you go. Ophir Pass to Crystal Lake. That sounds more right. Oh yeah, and that's the trail that you can literally see on the Google map I was looking at there. It looked like it kind of faded away. I didn't want to promote an illegal trail. So, but yeah, 0.6 miles, 288 feet.
Very accessible.
And even higher rated on All Trails at, what is this?
Yeah.
Well, never mind. 4.6 stars. So
that's part of the appeal throughout all time has just been its accessibility, where people can just pull off and go see this place. So that's and like I said, this does require an act of lawmakers, federal lawmakers, to transfer land from the Forest Service to the city.
Yeah.
So sought comment from the Forest Service, and they don't comment on what they describe as active legislation.
Yeah.
So where they stand on this whole situation is extremely important and not fully publicly understood. But definitely something to follow going forward. See if this lake can come back.
Any sort of timeline at all?
It all depends on when lawmakers can turn the wheels of bureaucracy. Senator Bennett and Senator Hickenlooper are fully behind this. Governor Polis has thrown his support behind this as well. So there's pretty substantial political support for it. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be cool to see that come back. You wanna? Okay, we got 2 topics left, Seth. We got the Argo Gondola.
Ooh.
You want to give a quick update on that and then get into
Grand
Valley?
People have been following what, is it fair to call it like one of the more major tourist attraction developments in recent memory?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right on I-70. People are going to, potentially that's a new stop on I-70 that's going to be flooded with tourists.
Right there in plain view. So yeah, for people out of the loop, Idaho Springs over the past, well, it's an endeavor that goes back years. But if people are familiar with the Argo Mill and Tunnel, right, that red structure on the hillside there, if you're passing Idaho Springs, there has been an effort to build a gondola going up the mountainside there, reaching a point that's being referred to as Miner's Point, going to be complete with, like a small amphitheater for concerts and maybe weddings, structures for, food and drink, and then really a launch point for this trail system that is well underway. Is it like 14 miles of trail that have been built so far?
Yeah.
Mountain bikers are flocking to it. Referred to as Virginia Canyon mountain bike trails. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the project $71 million price tag.
Right.
So
up from what was previously thought. But everything has been
58 was the previous.
I think
according to your reporting that I'm looking at right here.
there has been a level of perseverance required for this project. I mean, if going back to when was it? I mean, there was a court settlement out of this where some of the initial millions of dollars that were put into escrow for this project vanished, and came to light that there was this this outfit overseeing this fund ran away with it. Court settlement. I mean, there's been a whole saga to try to see this gondola through, but as I talked to the local woman who's been behind this, the visionary there, the very successful entrepreneur there, Mary Jane, she's just thrilled that it's actually happening. I think her words to me were something like, sometimes I have to like pinch myself, like that it's actually happening after everything she's been through. Yeah.
Well, and to put it in perspective too, also quoting your reporting here, you can find this online. Scenic gondola construction progresses in Colorado's mountains on the Colorado Springs Gazette. And now I lost my spot. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, with more than 25 miles envisioned for the network, it will be the state's largest lift-served network that's not at a ski resort.
Right.
So that's significant.
There's a lot of buzz about that.
Yeah, and you look at places like, you got Trestle Park, which is a lift-served network at Winter Park Resort. You've got the one at Crested Butte. You've got some trails at Breckenridge. You've got some at Granby Ranch. But yeah, to not be at a ski resort, I mean, that's pretty major.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And the people behind that at Colorado Mountain Bike Association, the way they talk about it is like really, like flipping the script on, or changing the narrative on like front range mountain biking. Just really upping the game of front range mountain biking. In terms of international mountain biking. Yeah, no doubt. We talk about Crested Butte. We talk about go out west around Fruita, of course. But the idea here is to really like people fly into Denver and they're off to Idaho Springs up the highway.
Estimating 400,000 people a year is what
conservative
estimate. Yeah.
I mean, there's, the flood of mountain bikers into Idaho Springs right now. I mean, it's definitely a topic in town that's probably just going to ramp up when people can get a ride and drop down, So that'll be something to follow for sure.
Yeah, I love to see it. A lot of people drive by Idaho Springs, and they don't, on I-70, people just cruise on by. And it'll be cool to have something that's a huge recreational, like, pool
draw,
there. Yeah, huge recreational draw.
The Argo Mill and Tunnel, if people aren't aware, like, is kind of this old vestige of the gold rush that put Idaho Springs on the map. And the mayor there had told me that this attraction is really, as he sees it, like the biggest thing to happen to Idaho Springs since the gold rush.
Dang.
So
Argo Mill's the big red mine that you see on that.
Yep.
If you're heading west on I-70, you see it on that right side of the road.
Where the gondola will span from there.
Oh, that's
the
so
views
cool.
of the Continental Divide. Yeah.
And several 14ers, right?
Yep. Yeah. Like 4 14ers.
Yeah. Very cool.
Like
Very cool.
The obvious question: when's it opening? They're targeting spring of next year.
Nice.
Mary Jane told me maybe March or April of 2026. So see how construction goes in the months ahead.
Very cool. What has to be finished right now? It's the bottom terminal.
They got the top terminal done, I think is what.
Yeah, the top terminal's done. And I think the poles have been put in, right?
Yeah, that's right. They flew in the towers.
Yeah.
So the cable's got to get strung and the gondola attached, and importantly, things tested. Right. There's a testing process to that. Seems like things are underway too at the top. Again, some of those the bars and restaurants up there are underway.
That'll be cool.
And then, like I said, trails are very much underway.
That'll be cool. Kind of bridging the gap between the less extreme and more extreme outdoor recreation enthusiasts, where if you want to just have the gondola experience, go up, get a drink, get some food, you can do that.
Yep.
Or if you want to dive in on these trails, do that too. So, yeah cool stuff. So we I don't know if we talked about it, but do you want to talk about this tower at all that you're
Mm.
writing about?
Yeah, on the topic of attractions in
Yeah.
Colorado, one that I'm guessing the vast majority of our listenership, is that a word, has heard about, and that is the World's Wonder View Tower right here in Colorado. The World's Wonder View Tower has been hiding in plain sight, on the eastern plains. Kind of really smack dab between Denver and Colorado Springs, off I-70, running through the prairie out there. So this thing, this thing was built in photo show construction from 1930, and what this idea was, on this high point where the plains crest, this entrepreneur came along to build this I think it's like 65 feet tower, where Ripley's Believe It or Not came along one day and said you can see 6 states from it.
No way. That's cool.
I don't know. I'm not, it's part of the legend of the tower. I'm not confirming or denying that that's true. But you can definitely see Pikes Peak.
Said to be I'm reading here, 1934 highest point between New York and Denver.
Right.
Yeah.
USGS came along and reported that. So maybe there is some validity there.
Yeah.
But it's all part of the legend and colorful folktale, really, that has been this attraction. So around Genoa, it's right in Genoa, Colorado, close to Lyman, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Lincoln County there. And it is just a bizarre property. It is a bizarre place. I mean, you think the tower is it, but this man, again, going back to the late 20s into the 30s, really created this complex of what became a museum space of oddities, really weird stuff, and just this hallway of like crystal geodes and petrified wood and painted stone that lead to this old, really weird concert stage where those hallways continue to the old cafe where there's still like the dishes hanging around from many decades ago.
Dang.
There was like little motel rooms on the side of it. There was a cobblestone snake pit. There was a rooftop concert stage. And then, of course, there was the tower, right?
I'm also seeing 2-headed calf and 8-legged pig.
Apparently, there was rooster eyeglasses.
Interesting.
If anyone needed some rooster eyeglasses.
And
really,
then there was the tower, though. So tell us.
Right.
Tell
yeah,
us
and
that.
just really the soaring symbol of roadside Americana, right? We're calling this time in the country where automobiles were starting to boom, and people were stopping at these weird places, right? And it really continued on under a long time overseer until his death in 2013. And that kind of spurred the uncertainty of that tower going forward. There's an organization in Colorado called Colorado Preservation, Inc. That maintains every year this endangered places list. It appeared on that list in 2017. And around that time was when this group in Denver, this group of artists and investors and just general Colorado lovers were coming together to save the tower, right? Again, almost going back 10 years now, but we're finally getting to the point where millions of dollars has gone into the restoration here, and maybe, just maybe, one day it becomes a tourist attraction again. There's this effort, interest to open it back up, the tower, to tourists next year. That's the big goal anyway.
Dang.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is like right there on I-70.
Oh, yeah.
East. So like,
and like I said, between Denver and Colorado Springs,
Yeah.
You probably got to want to go there, but easy day trip. Very, very easy day trip.
Well, and I can just see a lot of people making that their pit stop on their way into Colorado from the east.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was in the history. Yeah. Throughout its history. They're not saying this, to be clear. I'm saying this, right? But like, it's very easy to imagine a cult classic music festival there.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Especially like when you think of the old Snake Pit stage or something. And again, that concert inside the building there, that concert stage, it looks like a circus show or something in there. Really weird, bizarre space. And again, if like you can imagine just hippies wandering around from one bar to another bar to the old cafe there to the concert stage on the roof to the concert stage inside there. Like, yeah, that's where my mind was going. Like, in this big open field, right?
Oh,
that
yeah.
The tower is up against.
That's
Again,
awesome.
they're not saying that events are definitely part of the idea, in the long-term future. But yeah,
that's cool. That's cool.
I don't have an idea for what that festival would be, but I mean, World's Wonder View Tower, a name like that, pretty marketable, right?
Yeah, another topic to follow along with for sure.
No doubt. Really interesting.
Very interesting stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think that's about everything we have to cover today. Cool. Unless you want to give us one quick line about why Grand Valley is perfect for fall.
Because the temperatures are cool.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know about you. I love the area around Grand Junction that we're talking about here, right? Grand Valley encompassing Paonia, Grand Junction, and Fruita.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful place year round. But boy, it can get hot.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think in the fall, it's a great mountain biking for one, aforementioned mountain biking. The Grand Mesa is somehow an overlooked place for fall colors for sure, just because it's so far out there. But that scenic byway going 62 miles, I think, between I-70 close to Paonia and Cedar Ridge is just a gorgeous drive for fall colors. Lakes galore up there, great camping up there. And then, Colorado National Monument, absolutely gorgeous and pretty tough to bear when it's super hot. The desert around Fruita, the single track webbing, the desert around Fruita, also pretty tough to bear when it's hot, but in the fall, just perfect.
Yeah. So you got the wineries. And you got the wineries.
And the wineries.
Go sip in the nice cooler temps.
Yeah. So, got a piece coming out on why Grand Valley is the place to be in the fall.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all we got for today. So, one last time, I'm Spencer.
I'm Seth.
And we will see you out there.
Yes, we will.